my daughter.
This show will celebrate your creativity, your talent, and all the fun things you love to do.
My name is Jordan Mwangi. I'm an ex-world scholar. My hobbies are playing basketball, playing football, and reading books.
And today's book is The Best Thing Ever.
Chinky chimpanzee stew, chunky chocolate chips.
I'm Chef Zawadi, and today I'm going to show you how to make potato salad.
Vous présente un poème intitulé Le respect de la planète.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Kenya. You're watching KBC Channel 1. It's coming to you live from the Broadcasting House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Givas Maina, and let's take you straight to news. But before that, today we are also covering so many things, including the mini polls, or the by-elections, if you like, in Emurua Dikir in Narok County. That contest is expected to go down today. And, of course, the contest is between DCP of Gachagua and, of course, the ruling party UDA. We are having our reporters there on standby, and we'll be bringing you live coverage of that particular mini poll. And now Kenya has formally unveiled its candidate for the International Criminal Court bench, with President William Ruto rallying global support for Supreme Court Judge Njoki Ndong'o. Now, speaking at State House Nairobi, the president affirmed the bid as a push to strengthen fairness, credibility, and African representation in international justice. The nomination now sets the stage for a diplomatic campaign ahead of elections to the International Criminal Court for the 2027-2036 terms.
Kenya is stepping onto the global legal stage, presenting Justice Njoki Ndong'o as its official candidate for election to the International Criminal Court.
By presenting one of our most accomplished and distinguished jurists, the Honorable Lady Justice Susan Njoki Ndong'o.
President William Ruto used the launch to mount a broader defense of the ICC, stressing that its legitimacy depends on fairness, independence, and equal application of the law, amid long-standing criticism of perceived bias in global justice systems.
I have listened very carefully to the track record of Njoki Ndong'o, and I have carefully also listened to her vision about what she wants to do at the International Criminal Court. And they are persuasive, coherent, and meaningful.
The president also pushed for stronger African representation, arguing the continent must move from being the subject of international justice to shaping its direction, especially as many ICC cases have involved African nations.
Africa, therefore, cannot remain merely the subject of international justice. Africa must help shape international justice. And I believe firmly that the candidature of Lady Justice Njoki Ndong'o is going to achieve this end.
Justice Ndong'o's candidature is anchored on decades of legal and constitutional experience, from prosecuting serious crimes to shaping Kenya's 2010 constitution and serving on the Supreme Court.
The judiciary invited expressions of interest from all judges of the superior courts, subjected the applications to rigorous evaluation by the Judicial Service Commission, and transmitted the 3 recommended candidates for consideration by His Excellency the President.
At a very personal level, on behalf of the government of Kenya, you have our endorsement, support, and we are going to campaign for you.
Her track record in advancing gender justice and legal reforms, including key legislation on sexual offences, is expected to form a central pillar of Kenya's speech to ICC member states.
There are moments when we stand together as a nation, irrespective of all other considerations. This is one such moment.
Kenya is now set to lobby state parties to the Rome Statute to back Ndung'u's bid in what could see the country secure a seat on one of the world's most influential judicial bodies. If elected, Justice Njoki Ndung'u will serve a 9-year term at the ICC as Kenya seeks to cement its role in shaping global justice and accountability.
Now, to the corridors of justice, cardiologist Dan Kibuka Gikonyo was tasked to explain whether the admission of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to Karen Hospital was a plot to shield him from attending impeachment sessions in Parliament. Now, Dr. Gikonyo, who also disclosed that he has been a personal doctor to Gachagua for over 20 years, defended his summary of the medical document that had been contested by August House and Senate. And as Ruth Omboina reports, the courtroom was lit in laughter several times during the cross-examination as the cardiologist humorously clarified the identity of the patient RG, among other issues.
Rigathi Gachagua once again arrived in court for the third time since his impeachment proceedings began, accompanied by his wife and political allies. Shortly after, a senior cardiologist, Dr. Dan Gikonyo, who had been summoned last week to appear, took to the witness box for cross-examination.
And what is the discharge date given in the medical summary? November. That's actually 34 days later. Correct?
Yes.
You have now attempted in your exam in chief to explain the discrepancy.
Not attempting, I did explain.
Okay.
Counsel Mudhomi Thiankolu poked holes in the use of the initial RG by the cardiologist on medical records, arguing it did not clearly identify the anonymity of the patient.
And we mean patient RG, whose identity we don't know.
Which I can confirm.
It would mean that this patient would have been discharged on or before 20th October 2024. Correct or incorrect?
Or a month later?
We are following the documents, sir. Your paragraph says he was admitted for how long? 48 to 72?
Sir, please read correctly. Recommended.
Dr. Gikonyo was also tasked to explain whether he was a conduit of hiding Gachagua from the impeachment sessions.
Have you attached the images?
Let me laugh a little bit first.
Trust me, I too have been laughing about it.
On their part, the National Assembly and the Senate councils in the afternoon submitted that public participation was done to the maximum threshold.
None of the members of parliament complained that the views of the deputy speaker influenced the decision that was made by way of voting.
The respondents also want the petitioner fined for stating the internal standing orders relied on by the two houses during impeachment are unconstitutional.
Had the Senate proceeded by way of a special committee, the committee would be acting as an agent of the House. And the standing orders, my lords, reinforce that committees consider matters and report back to the House. And usually, when a committee undertakes the work of impeachment, for instance, the report then would be tabled in the House for adoption or rejection, my lord.
They further urges the court to dismiss the case and not to interfere with the discretion exercised by the Senate impeachment chamber.
All the petitioners are saying are speculations and they are not anchored on any basis. On that ground, we urge you to dismiss their issues as raised in their petitions and most of them.
In the case, Gachagua wants compensation for the time cut short in the DP's office, benefits accrued and damages. The hearing continues Thursday, 14th May 2026. With the parliament distancing itself from acting as a lynch mob of the executive to the former DP, Gachagua's legal team maintains that the House erred in law by conducting the impeachment the plenary way. All eyes are now set on the three-judge bench to balance the wheels of justice. Ruth Wamboi reporting from Milimani's High Court.
Matatu operators in Nairobi are now urging authorities to save them from alleged illegal gangs operating at bus stages by the nickname Kamagera, who they accuse of forcefully obtaining money from PSVs. They also allege that traffic police officers have continued to extort their businesses, leaving them with no or little earnings. Take a look. A video of the alleged Kamagera members operating in Kasarani, Mweki and Njiro in action as they collect money from matatu operators has gone viral. The video further shows the touts engaging with the matatu operators, perhaps demanding their share after a few passengers board the said matatu. This is the predicament of most matatus plying Nairobi routes.
Serikali tafadhali ikuje ituondolea hawa watu. Sababu wale abiria wanakuweka kwa stages. Kila abiria anajuanga mahali anaenda. Na zile gari zinasuburiwa sana ni za MNK Sacco. Ukishukisha hutabeba.
In Kasarani, Mweki and Njiro routes, the situation is no better. Matatu operators are decrying harassment by the groups they term as gangs nicknamed Kamagera.
Ukibeba mtu lazima uachie pesa. Ukikosa wanakupiga, na si wamepiga watu wengi. Walinitoka nyuma kama siwaoni. Sasa kunitoka nyuma wamekuja kama wamenipalilia, wamenioga kichwa, wakaniogea hapa nikaanguka chini.
Kudrop tu ni mtu nilikuwa na drop, hata si kubeba. Hao jamaa hao Kamagera alitokea na kuanza kunipiga. Nikimuuliza nini tunasumbuana, ananiuliza usiushuke, si ubaki hapo ujue je tunaulizana. Mimi walinipiga mangumi huku kwa kichwa, huku si mara, unaona. Ilikuwa tu kijana, lakini ukiangalia ukibishana naye kuna mavijana wengine hapo kando, watakuja tu na wewe uko peke yako, watakudhulumu zaidi.
The groups of young men are stationed at every bus station or matatu stage, as widely called, along the various routes where they will demand payment per every PSV vehicle.
Kama example, mimi niko na PSV badge, nimeruhusiwa nifanye kazi ya matatu. Bila hii PSV huwezi fanya kazi bila PSV. Mwenye anakupiga ana PSV, hajui charges zetu tunapitia kwa mlango tukibeba watu. Pesa mingi yenye tunawachia, yani ukibeba watu wawili wanataka uachie mbao na wabeba huyo mtu na mbao. Sasa unaona, sasa huwezi kuna kazi, pesa yenye tunapata ni kidogo sana.
Matatu operators demand action from the government to crack down on the menace.
Ile shida tumepitia hapa na hii watu wa Kamagera ni mingi. Wametuzubua sana. Na polisi hawana taarifa. Unadungwa kisu, anasema uchukue OB. Chukua ingine. Kile hapa kuna watu wengi sana wamejaza maobi kwa mfuko.
The matatu business is further suffering from huge extortions by rogue traffic police officers. We managed to record several officers seemingly collecting the bribes from matatu conductors. Kasarani OCPD Nicholas Kiprono, in a phone interview, confirmed they have already started an operation to wipe out the Kamagera menace and the police bribes and return sanity on the roads.
Hiyo siku nafikiri sasa kabla wakamatwe, raia wakanyagi hapo. Unajua tangu tukamata ile ingine wako ndani ile siku ni wewe ndio ulikuja hapa hiyo siku. Tulipeleka hao na marobari pilipili kila mtu wako ndani.
Now, let's take you to Emurua Dikir in Narok County, where our very own Simon Achola is on standby to bring us to speed on matters by elections in that particular constituency. Simon Achola, what's going on there? Has the casting of ballots begun?
Yes, fantastic indeed. Give us on a minor. We are in Emurua Dikir. And of course, our eyes are cast on the by-election that kicks off today at 8 a.m. in the morning. Where I am actually standing now is at Simotet Primary School polling station. Now, this polling station has about 900 registered voters, and in total in Emurua Dikir, we have over 45,000 registered voters. And of course, this will be the target of the 5 candidates that have actually shown interest in, taking a big chunk of those votes in this by-election. Remember, this by-election was occasioned by the untimely death of Noah Ngeno, who was the member of Parliament or member of the National Assembly over this constituency. Now, this constituency has about 4 wards, and of course, the leading ward is Ilkereni, that has about 13,000 registered voters, and of course closely followed by Olol Masani ward that has 12,652 registered voters, and then Kapsain ward that has 10,030 votes. Mogondo ward has about 8,087 registered voters, and of course that will be our main center of focus today as we try and traverse this smallest county smallest constituency in Narok County in terms of bringing you up to speed of exactly what is happening. And give us on, as is the case with by-elections in this country, it only starts slowly and of course catches up as the days go by, and that is what is exactly happening today. People have actually been streaming in one by one since morning. Remember, the polling stations were expected to be opened at exactly 6 a.m. in the morning, and that's exactly what happened. And where I am standing, the first person to cast their vote did cast their vote at 6:20. Now, that, of course, indicates exactly what happens in by-election. But, of course, everything is in top gear, and, of course, the ducks are aligned, and we are looking at it in terms of seeing exactly how this goes by. Security, if you're looking on the other side, you'll see that they have already lined up, and they're taking their vantage position in terms of just ensuring that they actually take care of this by-election. And we are told that each and every polling station will be having not less than 4 police officers just manning the polling stations and ensuring that each and everything that happens in this polling station is top gear. We also have IBC officials who've actually lined up themselves along these streams to ensure that they assist any other person who is actually coming in, so that then they can actually line them up and ensure that they go to their respective streams. So just get to see exactly what happens when a voter comes from outside, of course, and they get into the voting stream. If my colleague can just actually come in, you can actually see a number of agents have already lined up, and of course also the IBC officials are also taking a vantage position in these polling stations just to ensure that everything is fine. As I've said, this stream has around 447 registered voters, and of course when you come in,
that is Simon Achola. Be sure to catch a detailed report of that particular mini poll later in the day. And our residents of Mandera town staged demonstrations following the killing of 6 people in a deadly ambush along the Arabia-Mandera road. Now, elsewhere, health services across Embu County have been crippled after health workers commenced the strike over delays in disbursement of salaries by the county government. For these and more stories, here is our reporter Michael Mandiga with the county roundup.
Mandera town residents staged demonstrations marching through the town, demanding action from security agencies and calling for the removal of Jubaland forces reportedly residing in Omar Jilo, whom some residents accused of being linked to the tragic shooting incident.
Their continued presence has escalated fear among residents, disturbed peace, and undermined public confidence in national security institutions.
Meanwhile, health workers in Embu County have downed their tools over delays of their monthly salaries, stagnation, and non-remittance of statutory deductions.
Mfanyikazi wa Embu County hana mshahara,
ya mwezi wa Aprili na hana tarehe kutoka kwa employer mwenye anafaa kumpea pesa mshahara ya kujipanga kimaisha, hana ile tarehe, ameambiwa utangoja mpaka tarehe 20. Sasa hata mfanyikazi akiambiwa jipange, atajipanga vipi?
And health concerns are escalating in Gatimu village, Limuru town in Kiambu County after an ongoing raw sewage spillage from the neighboring Tilisi estate, affecting more than 50 families as the untreated effluent flow through the village, contaminating farms, water sources and surrounding homes.
Tumejaribu kuongea nao, we went in peace, lakini tunafukuzwa huko ni kama sisi hata sio watu. So tukajaribu kuongea nao, walitufukuza, hata tuko na videos, waskari wakijaribu kusukuma umati. And saa hiyo ndio niliwaambia sasa hii haiwezekani because tumekuja kutetea haki yetu.
Elsewhere, residents of Nyandarua County turned up in large numbers at the Oljoro Rock CDF Hall to represent their views on the 2026-2027 budget estimates during a public participation forum on the proposed finance bill.
Na upande wa shule capitation bado tungetaka iongezwe, sababu hata ile bursary allocation ya NCDF ikiongezwa, kuna mahitaji mengi sana ya wanafunzi hapa Nyandarua ambao pengine wakipata usaidizi zaidi wa pesa wataweza kujimudu.
Separately, the National Council of Churches of Kenya NCCK Upper Eastern Region has strongly condemned the brutal murder of PCEA clergy in Nakuru County, terming the incident shocking, unfortunate and a threat to the safety of all Kenyans.
We are pleading with Kenyans not to allow corruption and tokenism to overrule their thinking, so that they will not elect people depending on who has given what.
In matters education, the Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in Africa, Semastia, has intensified a nationwide mentorship program aimed at increasing the uptake of science, technology, engineering and mathematics subjects in primary and junior schools under competency-based curriculum CBC.
Going to the rich learners in the schools, we want to make them go through some scientific activities or activities in mathematics to see whether they can develop more interest in the STEM subjects as they move to senior school.
Finally, efforts to boost clean energy production in the country continue to gain momentum as private investors partner with local communities in Taita Taveta County to support the government's renewable energy agenda.
Hatuna moto wa kutosha, lakini huu tunaona ukiletwa vijijini pia utakuwa kupunguza gharama kwa sababu utakuwa unatumia tu jua. Kwa hivyo tunaufurahia.
Now, a section of civil society organizations is pushing for involvement of the Youth in Climate Resilience Initiative. Speaking Nairobi, the group led by Local Conference of Youth in Climate Change regretted the failure by those in authority to involve the young people in key decision-making platforms where climate policy are shaped. Now, the focus of the group is to promote youth-led initiative and the roadmap towards COP31, even as they urge the other youth to join hands in climate advocacy campaigns that will go a long way in shaping the future, especially in mitigating the effects of climate change, both in Africa and in the global stage.
People who constitute over 75% of the Kenyan's population bear a disproportionate share of these climate-related impacts. Yet they are also at the forefront of developing and implementing innovative, community-driven solutions to address the crisis. Despite their critical role, their efforts remain underrepresented in key decision-making platforms where climate policy are shaped.
This is a great moment for Kenya. Having been accredited by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is not a mean feat. And we have been having such editions every year, and it's a very much privilege that we now take it to another level. This is the moment for Kenya to be heard at the global stage where solutions are being shaped and resources are being allocated.
This will be a platform to shape policy both locally and internationally. So Kenyans, this is our platform to come and influence policy.
Now, the future of Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives hangs in the balance, with the government saying it faces liquidation. Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya has told the Senate that the giant umbrella SACCO is insolvent due to huge debts and mounting claims.
Once the pride of the savings and cooperative unions, the Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives has fallen from grace to grass due to years of misrule and mismanagement. Last year, KUSCO was placed under receivership after it failed to meet its financial and legal obligations. The government now appears ready to deal with the final blow to the union, with intentions to sell its assets and register the company.
What the ministry is going to do, it will put in the newspapers the 2,000 SACCOs that have responded by making sure that their returns are up to date, and they will give 30 days to the balance of 12,000 to respond. If they don't respond in 30 days, we'll assume they are either inactive or they are not there, they are not operating, and therefore they will be clearly deregistered.
Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya has told the Senate that the funds raised for the union will be used to settle debts owed by the company.
Sasa ilikuwa iangalie wale SACCOs ambao wana mali ya milioni 100 kwenda mbele. Ile recommendation ambayo imekuja sasa imesema shilingi ikiwa kwa banki na shilingi ambayo kwa cooperative siko sawa. Kwa hivyo mamlaka ya sasa imepanuliwa ili iangalie cooperative zote. Hakuna iangalie ile ya 100 peke yake na iwache hizi zingine, kwa sababu shilingi ni shilingi.
Oparanya has further told the legislators that the government is pursuing hustler fund defaulters to ensure the sustainability of the revolving fund.
And now let's get sporty for a moment. Newly crowned world marathon record holder Sebastian Sawe has confirmed that he will defend his Berlin Marathon title on the 27th of September this year. Sawe, who became the first person to officially shatter the sub-2-hour barrier in the London Marathon with a time of 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds, aims to maintain his unbeaten record in marathon running in the streets of Berlin, where he will also be going for a new record. He won the 2025 Berlin Marathon in 2 hours, 2 minutes and 16 seconds, which was a world lead after a victorious outing in London. He made his marathon debut in Valencia to emerge victorious with a world lead of 2 hours, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And I wish Sawe all the best. And that's where we end our news coverage for now, but the show continues. On the other side is Mike Migui on standby with Entertainment Thursday. But before that, a short commercial break.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes.
Semana Spokes is the platform where Wananchi engage, query the government, and the government responds. It's your time to be informed. Don't miss Bonga na Gava every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Semana Spokes.
Kila mwisho wa juma kwenye runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1.
Tunakuletea Mkulima.
Ni kipindi cha kila mtu.
Iwe wewe ni mkulima mdogo, mkulima mkubwa, muuzaji au mnunuzi,
au yeyote anayenuia kuanzisha kilimo ama ufugaji. Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30.
Ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
How do you raise a child when your life is so public? How do you remain grounded when the whole world is watching?
I usually tell people, if you want to bring me to sanity, just say, Mama Champ.
immediately ninarudi very fast.
Kucheka tutacheka kabisa mpaka yabaki mama unakuanga mfani. Lakini there's a moment he knows, anajua huyu macho zake zikigeuka hivi it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. My son, he's like, my older one, you know, Mom, you're the most, and I am the one who is toughest on him. But he always says, Mom, do you know you're the most Gen Z millennial mom that I know? And that's because I keep it fun at home.
Now the funny thing is, so I told him, these are the stories that come out. And they come out simply because you are the person that you are. And I even tell him, if anything was to come out, ignore.
So do not like being the story. Bring out the story.
Wewe wahitaji watatu ili kukamilika. Mimi nahitaji wawili. Wewe pia. Hivi Pili alikuwa yazungumzia ukweli?
Ule. Mwani?
Na anafanya nini pale na Patel?
Hata mimi nashangaa.
Usherekee kwa kuja kwa Sitara. My daughter. My daughter.
This show will celebrate your creativity, your talent, and all the fun things you love to do.
My name is Jordan Mwangi. I'm an ex-world scholar. My hobbies are playing basketball, playing football, and reading books.
And today's book is The Best Thing Ever.
Chinky Chimpanzees Chew Chunky Chocolate Chips.
I'm Chef Zawadi, and today I'm going to show you how to make potato salad.
Vous présente un poème intitulé Le respect de la planète.
And welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Miwe. Today is Thursday, being a day that we say it's the new Friday right here on Good Morning Kenya, being that we bring you entertainment Thursday, every Thursday morning. But before we get to the entertainment aspect of this show, remember that every Thursday we usually have this segment we call Future Voices, where we give a Kenyan youth a chance to contribute or give their views on matters that affect national discourse. And today we are focusing on devolution and accountability, now that given that devolution in Kenya now controls over 400 billion annually, yet we have seen or have heard about issues to do with pending bills amounting to around 183 billion. And for this, that brings aspect of very hard questions on fiscal discipline. For instance, Nairobi County alone accounts for over 86 billion in unpaid bills, almost half of the national county backlog. And that is something that should worry Kenyans in as far as the fiscal discipline that we are talking about is concerned. And also we've had audit reports indicating that billions of money have been, there have been questionable expenditure in as far as those billions are concerned, and that happens within counties. So the aspect of accountability comes into question, and that is what we want to explore with my panel tonight. On my far left, I am joined by Emmanuel Magoba, who is a political scientist. Karibu sana.
Thank you, thank you.
And also Alo Denish, who is a youth leader and bioscientist. Welcome.
Thank you.
Wakili Jacob Odhiambo is also a wakili and a political strategist. Karibu sana.
Thank you, man.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, sure. And I say good morning to our viewers, yes, and I welcome them to the discussion.
Yeah. So let's get into the conversation. And Magoba, I want to start with you. When you look at devolution, 15 years after its inception, you know, governors have become one of the most influential political actors within the country. From where you stand, has devolution strengthened local democracy or just moved power from Nairobi to 47 political smaller areas within the country?
Yeah, number one, it's openly known that indeed power has been moved from Nairobi centered part to the local units of this country. It's known clearly that the key mandate of devolution was to simply move real power from just central place to even the villages, so that even those people at the village level can feel they are being represented. And that's why you see they have been given the authority to elect members of county assembly who I believe they one-on-one have interactions with. And as a political scientist, Alexis puts it, that institutions are what primary schools are to science. They are to liberty what primary schools are to science, meaning they bring down to the people that liberty. Same to devolution, whereby services like ECDE, which is like the backbone of education, things like health, things like county roads, we have county roads, water, agriculture, and you find that these are kind of basic things to human life. So the constitution, rather theoretically, these things have been moved down to the local mwananchi rather than initially when they were just centralized at the people, even though we have challenges.
Yes. He says theoretically, but do you think, we've had cases where there has been cases where expenditure meant for county monies, the Auditor General says the monies have not been used accordingly. He says whatever happens in terms of moving power closer to the people is theoretical, but then again, then we hear cases of money being misappropriated at the county level. What do you make of this?
Yes, good morning once again.
Morning to you.
First of all, let me say that I think devolution is one of the strongest achievement we had in 2010 Constitution. It was meant to bring not only power, but resources and services, and even decision making closer to wananchi. And in many ways it has. Let us give credit where it's due. We've seen improved healthcare in some counties. We've seen access, especially improved feeder roads, and a lot of other things that has been achieved through devolution so far. But that notwithstanding, we have to say that the greatest test of devolution we've faced over the last decade is accountability. We've seen governors being grilled by the Senate over misappropriation of funds. We've also seen even some being pursued by the EACC over corruption cases. And we've also seen even cases where governors are impeached over the same. In some ugly instances, we even witnessed physical confrontation between the senators and the governors. Yes, so one thing I can say that in as far as devolution has got far-reaching benefits to the citizens, it has also been facing a lot of lack of public trust and lack of transparency and accountability. And I want to say that accountability is what transforms public funds into public benefit. Without accountability, without oversight, without good governance, then devolution simply become decentralized disappointment instead of decentralized development. Yes.
Decentralized disappointment instead of decentralized development. Wakili, you know, the Constitution as it is envisions checks and balances at county level. But then again, you look at it critically. In practice, in some ways, many governors look like they are politically dominant within their counties. Do you think this is a constitutional design gap, or there is some sort of an implementation failure?
First of all, let me start by saying that devolution was and is still a good idea. It was, started by the drafters of the Constitution. It was a dream. Services were moved closer to the people, and I think, in my own view, there are so many benefits that our people from different countries, from the rural areas, have, really benefited from devolution.
Yes.
But again, we can't really say that governors are really dominant. I think our practice of democracy has created that gap, because you realize that when you are aligned to a particular political party that is dominant in a given region, then governor plus the members of county assembly are elected on one party ticket, and therefore there's that choir singing it at the assemblies, where the assemblies are not really independent to do their three constitutional functions: the legislation, oversight, and representation. Really, devolution has not worked because there's no, the MCAs are not doing their work. The biggest failure is in the part of the county assemblies, the oversight aspect and legislation. And that fear of failure is also shared by the public, because you realize that Kenyans are not keen on the persons they are electing as MCAs to represent them at the county assembly. In many instances, you realize that either retirees are elected, or people who are not properly schooled. And the moment you elect a retiree, old person, to a county assembly, it means this person is not going to be able to legislate properly, and this person is not going to be able to oversight properly, because you know the calculations and trying to understand the budgets and everything that's happened. That becomes a problem. The moment you elect an unproperly schooled person, a class 7, class 2, class 8 dropout, then you know that oversight will not happen, because these are people who will go there and they will just try to do what governor instructs them to do. And therefore, the public must also be aware that county assemblies are not just places where you send people to go and sit in the name of MCAs. County assembly has got a lot of work, and therefore personalities that are sent there should be people who are properly qualified and prepared to do their functions properly. If we get that right, I think from 2027 we're going to see counties do much better for the people of Kenya.
You know, just to build on what Wakili has said, do you think Kenyans are paying attention to the people they elect at the county assembly in as far as the oversight role aspect is concerned?
Thank you. He mentioned something about electing a standard 7 dropout. Actually, you've gone too far on standard 7. These people elect even class 2 dropouts at the MCA. You saw the other day there was an impeachment. Was it Kericho County? And that member of county assembly could not even introduce himself in the Senate. And those are kind of people that we are electing to account for the billions that the governors receive annually. I mean, that's a pipe dream. There is this concept, sometimes I read the Bible, and there is this part that African politicians love the most, that leadership comes from God. I sometimes feel some leaders are like punishment to the people because you're given a number of leaders to elect from. They all come to you. They give you their manifestos. You speak so eloquently on what you're going to do. You even tell the people the framework to which you will implement your manifesto. But they'll still be waiting. They'll tell you, oh, you've spoken so well, Mr. Emmanuel. That was a good presentation. We can't wait. But you know, before we get there, I must eat.
Yes.
How are you leaving me? And so you find they end up electing whoever comes to speak to them, tells them things they want to hear, dances so well, entertains them so well, insults the opponent so well, and they elect them. And so you find that when these people get to the offices, you know what they do? They come with whoever was insulting so well. They employ the CECs, the chief officers. They actually reward the patronage system. And you find with this, we cannot have the accountability that we deserve. It is like being taken to a showroom, and then you have been given a budget to own a Range Rover Sport. And then out of everything that you see in there, you get out with a Pro Box, and you expect it to behave like a Range Rover. It can never work. Yeah. It can never work.
And Danish, when you look at it, if at the county level, we're still seeing patronage system being employed, will we really achieve, or will we be able to make sure that accountability is upheld at the county level?
Yes, there are efforts to ensure that, but I can say that as long as we lack the political goodwill, that will be a tall order. We have independent institutions according to our constitutions. Everything is in place according to the constitution, and therefore accountability at the moment should not be an issue. If it was a matter of having independent bodies, we have the Office of the Auditor General, we have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, we have the Senate, who should actually be also doing oversight, we have the County Assembly. What we lack in our system is the political goodwill, and that's what brings us to the patronage. That's why we see even when ESCC is pursuing some governors over corruption allegations, or when the Senate is, or when there is an impeachment proceedings, then some quarters, depending on the political affiliations, it's always it's like the result is predetermined. You are safe as long as you align yourself this way. That is political goodwill. And governors or politicians are very good at that. They know when to loot public funds and when not. And after looting, they know where to run to. I know I have looted a lot of money, so for me to be safe in the next government, I should align myself this way. And so the first thing we should do is to ensure that we strengthen our institutions to act independently. We strengthen the ESCC, we strengthen the judiciary to prosecute cases without political interference.
How do we do that?
First of all, I think the buck stops with what my colleague said initially. Everything begins with the citizen at the point of election, beginning with the presidency, because whoever we elect at the topmost office sometimes decides who holds those offices, especially through appointments or through public vetting. And so therefore I think first of all, during election we should ensure that we, as much as we can, elect leadership that exhibits integrity into the office. And then this also goes to the parliament. I think the parliament also has got a role to play in ensuring that the independent institutions are protected. Yeah, but it is a tall order as long as there is lack of political goodwill. We have tried in the past, it's lacking.
Wakili, it has to start from citizens, because we're talking about devolution. This is something that is affecting them directly. We have to start from the citizen. Do you think they really understand what the role of a member of a county assembly is, or it's just based on what popular political vehicle they are using to get to the county assembly?
In the past, it has always been about the popular political party within a region that determines who gets elected where and when. And I really want to speak to the electorate because, you know, some of these things that these gaps that we have or we see are really created or facilitated by the electorate. For example, I can give you an example of my own county, Homa Bay.
Yes.
In 2022, when we were campaigning, after Baba, the late, called the current governor, Gladys Wanga, and the former deputy governor, Joseph Oyugi Magwanga, to come together because all of them were aspirants for governorship position. So when they were called together to make one ticket, they went back to the people. And I remember these clips are available, and citizens, the electorates of Homa Bay should check on them. These clips are available. We were saying that, you know, after election, our hope, because the slogan was Genoa. Genoa means hope. Our hope is that drugs will be in hospitals. Citizens of Homa Bay right now should confirm if indeed, after the elections 2027, drugs have always been in the hospital. And if not, then they know what they should do. We said that our hope was that pipe to water was going to be in each and every home. The citizens of Homa Bay should do, marking. Are there pipe to water in each and every home? If it is there, then you know what to do. If it is not there, you know what to do. We said we were going to have ECD centers. ECD centers means we have a resting place for the kids when they are sleepy. We have a safe playing ground for the kids. We have, a feeding program within the, and we have good staffing for the ECD centers. If the residents of Homa Bay should be able to check if those are there or not there, and they know what to do if it is there, and they know what to do if it is not there. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that the electorates have to be, have to have the desire to get services, good services. And by having desire means they will elect good people into the county assembly and into being the governor, the executive wing. You see, Mike, the problem we have in this country is, I think the electors are not really serious. They don't want to change their lives. They just want to be there, to be seen. Devolution as decentralized resources from the national government to the counties. It means counties can operate and can develop their respective rural areas without really depending on the national government, on whoever is elected as the president. But you see, the politicians have a way of showing or demonstrating to the electorate that, you have to have the president for you to get services, which is not the case. Because the constitution is very clear. And whoever is elected as the president cannot or does not have any powers to refuse to release resources that are, mandated or are mandatory as per the constitution to the counties. Right now we are talking about 450 billion. Right? About 450 billion. If 450 billion can be utilized properly within our counties, then Mike, you can be sure that this rhetorics that we are hearing about Singapore, about Malaysia, about, we can really experience that Singapore in our counties. But there's a problem. You find that here in Nairobi where we see it, county assemblies, the county assembly here, the MCS, they will tell you they are going for committee meeting. Do you know where they do their committee meeting? They go to Mombasa. And they want fare to Mombasa. They take 2 days to travel, 2 days traveling
facilitation
to Mombasa. Then they have allowances. For all those 7 days they are going to be there. You ask yourself, Is there no serenade here in Nairobi where an MC can go and sit and then gets back home in the evening and tomorrow he gets again to that meeting? So there is this, and the late former Prime Minister used to say that you see, members of Parliament will tell you, we're going for benchmarking, they're going to Malaysia, they're going to South Africa. Waste of public funds. And if you don't give them, they blackmail even governors, the county executive. They blackmail governors. That is where you find that MCs will start collecting signatures that they want to impeach a governor because the governor has refused, that she will not allocate resources for these people to go and waste and to dance with their concubines in Mombasa or in somewhere in Kisumu. What we are saying is, the electors must, if they want to see devolution work, we must elect people who understand what a role of an MC is in the county assembly.
Yes.
We must elect people who understand what being a governor is. A governor should not, even in the first place, a governor should not be a politician. A governor should be a manager, because there are resources there that is going to, they are going to manage.
Managing the county resources.
But the problem we do is that we elect politicians to be governors. So when they are there, they only do PR, because they only believe that the public are people to be lied to, and you do a lot of PR, and in the next 5 years, they will come back and elect you. And you also find a way of managing the MCS. You can dangle something for them every time they want to impeach you or they want to question you, and you continue with your lifestyle. If the electors are not going to change their way of thinking going into 2027, then I can tell you here that 2028 will still come back here and still talk about what needs to be done for us to realize the full potential of the devolved system of government.
That is loaded, Wakili, because we are heading into 2027, and we'll see people rising up to those positions, be elected to those positions. So it's upon Kenyans to decide who they want to elect in as far as county assembly is concerned. So with that, when it comes to management of public funds, it's done accordingly. We are also joined by Masesa Makua, who is from the ODM Youth League and also aspiring Nairobi Senator.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you doing this morning?
I am fine.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm a bit late. I stayed late night yesterday. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
I thought Crystal Palace will do something because we will give them money at the end if we win the league. But I was so disappointed. But I'm glad that I am here now.
Yes. You live to fight another day.
No, we will win our games. Let them do their own.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we shall continue with this conversation. Stay with us.
Hebu fikirie environment kama hii hapa Western Kenya. Eti mtu atatoka hapa aende Nairobi kusoma university to conquer the world. Mimi Andrew nitahakikisha hiyo ndoto imezimwa. Tazama hayo yote kwa Gundu KBC Tuesday to Thursday 7:30 p.m. Leo sio kesho.
We're so excited. We were allowing our imaginations to run rampant, okay? We had colors and names and parties and all the things we were going to do. And the nurse checked and said, "I'm so sorry."
Michelle Wilkins has sung with some of the top artists in the Christian music scene, from Mandisa to Toby Mac. All that time on stage didn't compare to the joy of finding out she and her husband Michael were expecting their first child.
The lady says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but there's no longer a heartbeat." It hurt. It was like a pain I had never felt before.
Wewe ukazichukua ukaenda ukazibadilisha namba na ukaanza kuziuza.
Ndio liibiwa? Mimi bado ibiwa nduthi.
Kijana yako alikwambia liibiwa na nani?
Ngo yele sikuwa na pen.
na hii pen apiko.
Ndio tukapata wewe anatengeneza number plate, anabadilisha, anauza.
Tembea polepole na mwendo wa haste ukienda nyumbani.
How can pikipiki swim like a fish?
Ilienda kwa mtu ikaenda ikiduguruma tu.
Mzee,
bindio nilisema mvua inyeshe wakati ile uko kwa barabara.
Si wewe ulisema kwani wewe ni nyesayo, ubenyezao wale mburi.
Bora kusema sitaki, ujipatie salama.
Kwa kila hapana unayosema ujue ni ushindi wa heshima yako, ni mwango wa ndoto zako na ni hatua mbele kwa maisha yako. Asanteni.
Vurugu nyumbani, mwadhirika wa uonevu, sababu za maumbile, urithi wa familia huleta ukatili nyumbani.
Je, ni kweli kuwa wanafunzi wote wamepata fursa sawa masomoni?
Shule zote za mjini na vijijini kunapatikana vifaa kama maudhui ya kidijitali yanayotumika na madarasa yote.
Walemavu. Kuna wanafunzi ambao ni walemavu na wanaweza kukosa shule wezeshi zinazoweza kuwapa vifaa na vitu wanavyohitaji.
Taja aina 3 za vyakula vya asili.
Nduma.
Hapo kwa mbali akasikia sauti, nyaruguru, nyaruguru, nyaruguru yo.
Utumia viziada lugha.
Utumia viziada lugha. Nimependa sana hoja yako.
Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Kenya. This is Future Voices right here on Entertainment Thursday, where we give the youth of this country a chance to contribute to matters of national interest. We are talking about devolution and accountability. And Masese, I want to hear your views. There's something that Wakili said, and I think it's important we dissect it. You know, sometimes in many counties, MCAs are accused of fearing governors, more than holding them accountable, which now brings the aspect of accountability into question. From your perspective, what do you think makes independent oversight so difficult at county level?
Thank you very much, Migu. What makes oversight very difficult at county levels, it's the structure itself. Do you know that the salaries of the MCAs have to come from the governor? Yes, it is the governor who funds the county assemblies. So that's what William Ruto was trying the other day when he went to the county assemblies forum, that the county assemblies will be getting money from the exchequer directly to their accounts and not to the executive, then from the executive to the county assembly. And that's why the MCAs totally work at the mercy of the governor. And that is the biggest problem that we have. That even money that is to be spent on county assemblies, their budget comes from the county executive. They are the ones who disperse. Unlike National Assembly or Senate, where the exchequer funds the National Assembly directly and not through the office of the president or the executive. The same is not being done in the county assemblies. That's why you will not find an errant or an independent MCA trying to challenge a governor on matters of accountability. All right? So that's where the problem is. So the problem is in the framework of how even the funds are disbursed to the county assemblies. So yeah, that's where the problem is.
So in other words, Magoba, the governor can hold the MCAs at ransom.
Yes.
And if the MCA does not conform to what is expected, then he might not get development in his area, in his ward.
Yeah. But first I wanted to correct him. The salaries of MCA are not at the mercies of the governor, because SRC is there to control and make sure everyone gets their salary. What happens is that this salary comes from the SRC and then it goes through the budget of the county. And the people who make this budget, it goes into the county assembly. It's just like the National Assembly, whereby we have the bill, the finance bill and everything. And I feel like
I think you didn't get me right. You see, just like my brother said, the national government cannot fail to fund the county governments, but it can derail by doing what? By funding them late. You see? So delayed disbursement of these funds means that development will stall because the pending bills will not be paid. What I am saying, my brother, is SRC is there to set how much they will receive. Once SRC has set how much they will receive and all that, all this money goes to the executive arm of the county government. Then it is the county government, the governor, that releases whatever is owed to the county assembly. So the governor can intentionally, can intentionally delay disbursing these monies. You see, when these monies are delayed to be disbursed to the county assembly, then it means these people are at the mercy of the governor. I want you to understand that the exchequer does not fund the county assemblies directly. That's what I said.
You see, what governors do is that when I'm the governor and I want to frustrate my brother here, I'll make sure that the 20 million that is supposed to go to his assembly, or rather to his office, as he says, it can either go late. But what I've seen in the recent past, what the governors are doing, for instance, a road is supposed to be constructed in your ward. So what I do as the governor, I make sure that the chief officer in charge, or rather the CEC in charge, reports to me directly. In this case, your work will just be to oversee the project, but you're not getting anything as it's supposed to be. Because ideally, you are in charge of that ward. You should be the one to even know who is getting the contract, who is doing the construction and everything. But then we are having governors whose insatiable want for wealth will not allow them to independently let MCS do their work. They want to be there. They want to make sure that they get these kickbacks. And that's why you will see most governors, today you move into a number of counties, you find there is more of construction than we have medicine in hospitals, than we have agricultural inputs and all those necessities. But we are either constructing a governor's residence, we are either constructing a governor's road. Like in, for instance, my county, the first project the governor did was to tarmac a road connecting to his rural home. When we are having the roads inside, I don't know if any of you has been to Busia County. Sometimes people make a joke that we do not have even a better roundabout in the town. But you find that these are things that have been there, and we've had a governor who went for 10 years, complete 10 years. So you end up asking yourself, what was this governor doing for 10 years that we are still having the challenges that we had before the devolution came into system? Today, I look the convoy of our Kenyan governor, and you wonder, what is this? I mean, must a governor run away with over 15 Prados, with over 15 cars, consuming fuel under our taxes? These drivers are being paid under our taxes. You find a governor's convoy, only a driver timebeba document ya minister ya CEC, a driver alone along the convoy, yet people do not have water. And you see where I come from, it's a very interesting area. We have Lake Victoria surrounding my constituency, we have River Nzoia, but people to date do not have water from their taps. And then you end up asking yourself, why? And then someone tells you the governor owns like almost 5 mansion houses, both in Nairobi and in the village.
So what you're saying now brings about matters of public confidence in as far as county assemblies are concerned. You know, county assemblies, they approve county budgets. And even sometimes vet appointments and oversight spending. But sometimes many Kenyans may feel that MCAs are politically compromised. How do we ensure that public confidence in county assemblies is restored to a point where they are confident enough that this county assembly will do what is required of them in as far as ensuring resources go to where they are expected? Hello.
Thank you. I think before responding to that, yes, I want to chip into the argument about governors manipulating MCAs. According to me, I think it's two-way around. We've seen instances where MCAs manipulate governor and instances where governor manipulate. I think the buck stops with the political setup or the political parties. Let me give a case study of Meru County. The reason I believe why Kawira Mwangaza did not survive the onslaught is because he was an independent candidate. Almost half of the MCAs were from one political party and the other half are from another political party, none of which she belonged to. And therefore, if the political parties prevailed over the decision of the MCAs, and that's why the impeachment it was the third impeachment. Then she was ousted. So I think MCAs are mostly manipulated by the political parties, far much than even the governors. The other day, there was a time Governor Sakaja was almost being impeached, and you heard it is the ODM MCAs that saved him. It was not Sakaja who prevailed over them. It must have been the party ODM and the party leadership that prevailed over them. So party leadership plays a lot in as far as the counties' assemblies are being run. And even in terms of the confidence you are talking about, county budget allocation, these MCAs always they are fighting to secure their second term, and therefore they are trying their best to align to their political godfathers. And so as long as we will be having the political parties controlling the county assembly, then we will be having some shadow powers beyond the county government that is not visible, and we will be dealing with the governor as a person and the MCAs who are formally elected, yet someone somewhere will be sitting controlling, go impeach this governor, demand more from him. Sometimes when a governor maybe refused to relinquish money to these parties, they don't attack the governor directly. They use the MCAs to threaten governor's impeachment. And you realize the governor will be saying, oh, my problem is not the county. My problem is with my political party or political party leadership. That's why I'm facing all these accusations. So it's corruption, it's political witch hunt, all intertwined in such a way that you cannot tell which one is a prevailing reason why someone is being pursued by either EACC or... So for us to develop public trust, I think we need to, I don't know, we go back to, our system is democracy, and I think my two colleagues talked about the weakness of democracy, and Socrates emphasized that democracy, in as far as it is good, has got its own weaknesses, because popularity sometimes overweighs wisdom, and emotions overweighs reasoning. So as long as the electorates are not informed, we need to do a lot of civic education so that we ensure that the electorates are making decisions not based on emotions and popularity, not where the best speakers and the demagogues manipulate the outcome, but where leaders of integrity are actually taken into power, especially the MCAs. That is the only way we will ensure public trust and confidence in running our counties.
Wakili, what do you think? At what point does oversight become a constitutional failure rather than a political weakness in as far as county assemblies and devolution is concerned?
Number one, just to say something, I don't think that governors have the capacity and the ability to frustrate an elected member of county assembly. You see, there are things that we just say for, I think, for lack of a better word, for purposes of ignorance. How do you conclude that a member of county assembly elected by the people, whose salary is already prescribed in a constitution, that now somebody can say somewhere, say, I'm not going to pay so and so a salary because he is not aligned to me? It can never work. So if MCAs have failed to do their role, their functions, then it is not, they should not find an excuse to lie to the public that, if we don't do this, governor will frustrate us, or governor... Actually, I believe, as a lawyer, I really believe and understand that the governor does not have the capacity to retain your salary. How? Even if she was the one paying or he was the one paying. How? Because you can have the evidence that this is my fellow member of county assembly is allied to the governor. He has already been paid. Why have I not been paid? You can move to court. You will get your pay. You see? So certain things are not for chief, the governor, the CEOs of the counties to determine when you are paid and when you are not paid. Another thing, President William Ruto, right now, county assemblies have the autonomy. They get their monies directly. Yes. So why are they now not doing, if that was an excuse, then why are they not now doing their functions, their roles properly? What I'm saying is, and if we go to 2027 with the same mindset and the same structure, then we are still going to lose another 5 years of devolution. One, the biggest problem of devolution are political party leaders. This I can tell you for sure. Actually, people who have made governors not work are party leaders.
Exactly.
Because the governor knows there, anakaa pale anaiba pesa, he steals or she steals, and she knows that the moment I've taken to a party leader 10 million, I'm okay. If the MCs, if the people are making noise, I will bring the party leader to talk to the people. Or I will, if the MCs want to impeach me, I will inform my party leader. Then the party disciplinary party will summon them. Tell them, leave the governor. I recall the situation with Governor Obado in his first term of office, when the ODM party tried to, because he was not aligning to the powers by then of the party leadership, they wanted to impeach him. And I remember Obado at some point made the county assembly, a very hostile area for MCS to appear to. And you cannot do impeachment in the bush. You have to table that motion in the assembly. Yeah. And the MCs were crying, some in Tanzania, some in Korea, saying, oh, when you go to Bigori, we are beaten. And Obado survived through that kind of, but he served the people. Governors, the major problem, apart from the MCs having being incapacitated to do their roles, because many of them are political, they are, school dropouts and maybe retired old men.
Who?
MCS. Majority of...
You have to draw that. I mean, do you have evidence to that?
I have evidence.
No, you have to tell me.
Do you know right now as we speak? Do you know right now as we speak? No, I come from Homa Bay. I want to give you an example with Homa Bay.
That is fine.
Homa Bay, currently as we speak, nominated MCA, for example, I'm telling you, nominated MC of Homa Bay is the wife to Aduaweti. Do you know the wife to Adu is how old?
But we cannot discuss a person. We cannot discuss a person here.
We are not discussing. I'm just giving an example.
No. Can I be allowed to say you are not an advocate? You did not finish school. Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah?
Am I allowed to say it here that you did not finish school, so you are not an advocate? Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, you are allowed.
Without substantiating.
You are allowed.
You cannot say that MCs are dropouts. Let's respect leaders because...
Let me ask this, gentlemen.
We can say they are incompetent. We can say they, but we cannot cast aspersions on these people. No, you have to respect leaders.
You see the problem we have? There are certain people who think that they are more ODM than some of us. You see, these things I'm saying... You see, I've mentioned ODM and then now.
No. You have said MCAs are dropouts. You didn't say ODM.
Majority
MCAs.
of them.
Some of them, which is the truth.
You say it is the truth. That is not a truth. That is an
okay, my brother. You cannot run away from
it. You live in this country. Stop living in this country. Listen, you live in this country, and you know this fact.
That's not a fact.
Let's do this.
It is an opinion.
This is. Can I finish what I was saying? Okay, finish your point before I get to... Mike, I was saying this, if Kenyans wants to get good leadership, good representation, good oversight, we have to elect people based on what they present to us during the campaigns, not what the political parties want us to do. I can say it here. If the people of Nyanza are going to elect MCS because ODM has given them tickets, if the people of Central Kenya are going to elect MCS because DCP have given tickets, then I can assure you that we are going to have still worst county assemblies come 2027 to 2032.
Recycling the same problem.
Recycling the same problem. No. We must elect you, even if it's an independent candidate. Let us elect a person.
Not a party.
Not a party.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, Masese, when you look at devolution, 15 years later, And it's something that was meant to benefit Kenyans. It was entrenched in it is entrenched in the constitution. But my question to you is, do you think we have brought too much politics within something that was just meant to be implemented?
Yeah, I think we brought in too much politics, and before we understood what devolution was all about, we had a lot of time wasting. You remember at some point there's a time that governors thought they were also presidents. So they were saying that we have 47 presidents, then one president, like we have 48 presidents. Then we had now to get that notion out of them that they are not presidents, they are governors, and we brought them. The devolution, we brought them in so that resources can be devolved to the people and not power going down to the people, working for the people. So it is true, politics has really overshadowed service delivery like it was intended while devolution was being birthed. So this is a problem that we are going to solve, and it's being solved slowly by these people now realizing that service delivery is more important than having power. I like what my brother said. You see a governor walking, or when they move,
they have
with
a
convoy of 30 SUVs. Now put the SUVs aside. They have 20 heavy-built men around them as security. That is not a problem. I want you to make the mathematics of what they will eat, those 20 heavy-built men. Chakula tu peke yake. That's a lot of money that is going into wastage. And who are you protecting yourself from? Because when you are campaigning, you didn't have these people. In fact, you are mingling. Yes, ulikuwa unakamua mpaka ng'ombe zao. So I think when we get the right leaders, devolution will work. But how will we get the right leaders? Because in this country, the end justifies the means. You see, IBC needs to crack the whip on campaign money. Because how these people spend so that they get elected to these seats is what brings the problem, because they spend a lot of money that they need to recoup and make more so that they'll have made profit. So if this law is tightened a bit so that at least what you spend on campaigns is something reasonable, you see, something reasonable, so that at least when you're getting elected, isikuwe ni kama tuko na deni yako. Wewe ndio uko na deni yetu ya service delivery. We have seen in this country someone campaigning for just an MP seat, but is going everywhere giving people 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. The whole constituency. How are you going to recover this money? You see? And when these people come, we think now they're going to give us service delivery. They're not going to give us service delivery. They're going now to recoup their money and make more.
So they're investing in politics.
So they're investing in politics. How we can help this country is demystify politics, make it less attractive, remove these perks so that it is service delivery. I like what my late party leader said. He was on record saying MPs have no business with the CDF.
Yes.
There is no way you will allocate, spend, and oversight yourself. Yes, there is no way. So that we only judge MPs on the three things: oversight, representation, and legislation. But today you'll find people are saying one-term MP because they are hajatengeneza barabara na pesa gani. You see? So it's the same problem that now we have with MCAs. MCAs think the only way for them to be now very active is that they also have World Development Fund that works like CDF. Because there is World Development Fund, but it does not work like CDF. It is still the governor that appropriates the World Development Fund. It does not work like what CDF works. You know, because with CDF, even when you're not on the president's side, the disbursement has to come. You know? But when you're the MCA and you're not working with the governor the way the governor wants, your projects might not take off because they can give an excuses in terms of pending bills, or they award the contract to someone to do it, but they don't pay them. They will say we don't have money. So your projects, of course, they were launched, but they are not going on because the contractors left site because they're not being paid. And when you ask the governor, he says it's okay, we know the contractor is supposed to be paid, but we have pending bills, we don't have that money. You see, that's why I was seeing the problem with now MCAs having that autonomy to now oversight the governors, is that things are not working the way CDF is working, but which should not be a problem. They should just do their work. Yes.
Magoba, if we are to deal with the political parties and how they affect matters to do with county oversight, if we are to take them away from that, is it possible in the first place? How would that look like, and would that strengthen oversight?
That will look like Murang'a County. That will look like Murang'a County, because this is a county with a governor who was, of course, elected within a political party, but he is delivering despite the political party. So even as far as political parties tend to influence the workability of a county government, I strongly feel like we have individuals who are in those positions and they are still able to deliver. So I still insist that MCAs should act independently. Senators are actually trying, they're actually trying, but MCAs should try to act independently and take those cases of underworking governors, corrupt governors, so that senators can act appropriately. And as Plato says, if you are traveling with a ship, who would you trust to best navigate that ship? Is it someone who is trained or just any other person? So is a state. People should trust knowledgeable individuals with wisdom to give them those leadership positions, and not just whoever has the best goons, whoever makes the loud voice in the county. No, but the best people who can lead the county.
What do you think? You know, we have audit reports giving exposing recurring issues of unsupported expenditures, pending bills, and so on. But my question to you is on accountability. As a country, do we have an accountability problem or an enforcement problem?
We have an enforcement problem, and that I can say candidly. You have just said we have several audit reports of different counties. We have cases of governors being pursued by ESCC, and we also have cases of governors being summoned by the Senate over misappropriation of funds. Tell me any governor currently today in jail over any corruption allegation or scandal. So it is obvious. Governors have a way of getting away with it. And it is obvious to any politician that as long as you pick some political directions, you will get away with your loot. So I think the greatest problem we have is enforcement problem. Does the ESCC perform effectively? And my answer is no. They pursue. It's all over in the social media and in the newsrooms. 2 weeks later, the story is gone. Actually, they bring up another story to ensure that the other one fades. So I think the key challenge we have is enforcement, and that also makes me to ask a question: are these law enforcement institutions really independent? So this enforcement issue also has got what we call political interference. There must be someone somewhere who determines how these law enforcement institutions work. As long as that happens, there will always be corruption. We need to have a system like, let's say, Singapore or South Korea. We have actually almost 2 or 3 former presidents of South Korea in jail currently. In Singapore, several ministers in jail. It is actually doable. They have been jailed for looting public funds or for some going against the constitution during their reign. In Kenya, that is impossible. Even former governors who have retired and who are at home, they're just relaxing. Even the ones that we know had serious corruption allegations. None of them has been prosecuted. We need an example. We need to see the cases that we have before us really prosecuted to the end. to the very end, without political interference, I am assuring you, if we only have at least two very genuine and sincere cases prosecuted to the end, we will see this country change. Yes.
Going into 2027, Wakili, do you think, given what we've seen in a county assembly, of course we've seen good things happening in counties, but then again, we have those grey areas that need to be straightened. Do you think Kenyans have learned their lesson in as far as management of county money is concerned?
I think there's still more need for proper civic education to the public so that they can understand better what are the roles of different leaders that they elect, so that that can then inform the pattern of in which they will elect leaders going into the future and their judgment on the same leaders. I also think that there's need for the Auditor General's office to try and up their game in terms of releasing audit reports, because you find that the Office of the Auditor General releases a report 2 years after something happened. I think this audit report needs to come very timely so that it gives room for these leaders to be held accountable.
How regular can that happen?
How do you release a report 2 years after a governor left office? You see? And there was serious questions. Like right now, if you look at the reports that the parliament are discussing today, they are discussing financial year 2023, 2024. And we are in 2026. So, Auditor General, I think they are properly facilitated, and if not, then the government needs to give them proper budget that can enable them to have enough personnel that can help them audit books of accounts from every government department and release these reports timely, so that the EACC and the other institutions that are responsible for in furthering the actions in these reports to do their work, so that Kenyans can get value for their money and they can also see certain convictions happening. I really want to say that we need to do more civic, even you as the media houses, you really need to do civic education so that as we move into 2027 elections, our people are able to understand that I'm waking up, I'm going to elect a governor. What are the functions of a governor? I'm waking up to go and elect an MP. What are the functions? Do you know you go to a political rally and a village elder ask an MP that, Mheshimiwa, we don't have, our hospitals do not have drugs. That is not a role of an MP. Yeah? So it means when you see that elder, you don't blame the elder. You understand now that there is no proper civic. These people don't even understand that why are they electing an MP? What are the roles of a member of parliament? So the moment we can do proper civic education, then our people will vote in 2027, knowing that we need such a character for a position of a member of parliament. We need such a person for a position of a member of county assembly. We need such a person for a position of president. Yes. Because they know their roles and functions.
Masese, as we close, accountability, devolution has to work. And it has proven that if properly managed, it can work perfectly. But then again, when you look at accountability, how do we make sure that accountability feels more closer to the ordinary citizen, that they are confident if something goes wrong, someone will be held to account?
Yes. I think the biggest impediment is allowing the Constitution to breathe. We have the best Constitution, Constitution 2010, a very progressive Constitution. It outlines very well what is to happen in case there is misuse of public funds or such. But you see, political interference has made it impossible to actually actualize and see these laws being applied. Today, if you are corrupt but you are seen to be friendly to the administration that is there, even with the Auditor General report showing clearly that you have embezzled funds, I mean, no one is going to arrest you. But if tomorrow you say you're not now supporting the administration that is in place, you'll be arrested very early in the morning. So when we allow the Constitution to work in such a way that whether it is the president's brother or the president's sister, but they have misused public funds or they are on the wrong, the law is allowed to take its course, you see. So with that, we will be moving forward as a country. Yes. Even if, because we can forgive the electorates a bit, because now the civic education has not really gone down to them in a proper manner. So if the electorates make that mistake of electing people who are coming to misuse public funds, then the Constitution is there to shield now these electorates by ensuring that now these people who misuse public funds are now taken to court and are jailed. Like my brother has said, ministers are in jail, you know, former presidents are in jail. But what is happening here in Kenya? In Kenya, when Migwi today is saying 2-term, very good person. Tomorrow Migwi is saying one term. The very friends that Migwi had in 2-term are telling us how Migwi stole. You know, so they have been knowing all this time, and they know that Migwi has been stealing. But because Migwi was singing their song, Migwi was a good person. But now Migwi has now left. Now they are telling us the truth. It's not like they are lying. It is the truth, but the truth of convenience. You see, that's why I'm saying the electorates now, we need to do a lot of civic education so that we know who are we electing. Today, as it is, the politicians have decided, and they have now brought a narrative where they are saying it is 1 term. You know, it is 1 term, the president. But we cannot forget that everything that the president does is passed through parliament. Even the funds that he has at his disposal to embezzle is through parliament, you know. So we do not take the hit to parliament. We are taking the hit to the presidency. So even the alternative government that is saying now, we are the alternative government, and they're saying they're going to come with their people. They're going to come with their people to do the same things the same way, you know. And now that's where the problem is. So we need to start looking at the MCAs, like every elective seat, not the president alone. Yes. So that it is 1 term for everyone that is not working, everyone that has not represented the interest of the people, so that we are not deluded by these people in their own making. They're bringing narratives to drive us to a certain direction.
30 seconds before I close, we are running.
Thank you very much. So fellow citizens, if you go to your hospital and there are no medicines at your county hospitals, there are no drugs or anything, ask your governor, not your member of parliament. If there is no water in your taps, no water, no poor drainage and everything, ask your governor, not your senator, not your MP, not even the president. If there are no agricultural inputs in your county, ask your governor. If there are no ECDE well established in your county, there is that funds, ask your governor. And if your governor is not able to give answers to all these questions, then vote them out. Devolution is not failing because the idea was bad. It is failing because leaders you elect lack integrity and accountability. And the only punishment is to vote them out and elect people who can deliver, probably people like me.
The gentleman talking is called Emmanuel Magoma. He's a political scientist, and also we have been having Alo Denesh, who is a youth leader and bioscientist. Jacob Odhiambo is a lawyer and political strategist, and Masese Mokua is from the ODM Youth League. Na anataka kiti ya senator ya Nairobi. So I hope mnamuona. This is where this conversation ends. Thank you for tuning in to Future Voices. My name is Mike Migwi. Up next now is Entertainment Thursday. Na tutakuwa na DJ Unique. Get ready. Stay with us.
Time cut short.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunaangamiza dhana potovu kuhusu matumizi ya biopesticides.
Na vile Boniface, tuangalie manufaa yanayotokana na kukuza mimea tofauti katika shamba lako.
Dawa za biopesticides ziko na ufanisi mzuri na tena zile zinaitwa dawa broad spectrum. Utapata kwamba dawa moja inaua huyo diamond blackmoth na tena wadudu wengine wale wote ambao tumezungumzia.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1
kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
This show will celebrate your creativity, your talent, and all the fun things you love to do.
My name is Jordan Mwangi. I'm an ex-world scholar. My hobbies are playing basketball, playing football, and reading books.
And today's book is The Best Thing Ever.
Chinky, chimpanzee stew, chunky chocolate chips.
I'm Chef Zawadi, and today I'm going to show you how to make potato salad.
Vous présente un poème intitulé Le respect de la planète.
Kuchukua sio tabu hivyo. Na shapasi. Kimaliza nitapitia hapa ngienda stendi nitakuregeshea.
Sitakuchoma.
Kwani mkono wapata moto makerekani. Haya pasi hiyo, lakini hala pasi yenyewe si yangu. Utumie ukimaliza tu niregeshe.
Toke kule ninatoka mwenyewe na haraka zangu ninakuja kuchukua changu. Leo waje kuniambia changu hakiko changu na kukabidhi wewe. Leo kiko nyumba ya pili. Wewe ulipata mahari ya kumuoa Amina ukashindwa kununua pasi.
Kama imevunjika mkono ukimwomba msamahani, huo mkono utawekwa binadamu.
Sasa si pasi mpya itanunuliwa.
Wewe wajua pasi hakuna.
Welcome back to Entertainment Thursday. My name is Mike Migu. Today is Big Thursday, which is the new Friday. That is what we say right here on Entertainment Thursday and on Good Morning Kenya. And I have an artist. Her name is Shania Bito. She is a Kenyan singer, songwriter, and a recording artist. And she joins me right now to talk about her musical journey and what's in store and so much more. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Habari asubuhi.
Salama labda yako.
Mimi niko salama kabisa. Unajua sasa mvua ya Nairobi sometimes ikinyesha trains traffic.
Yeah, true.
I've had people complaining about Nairobi having too much traffic. Sijui inakupatanga wapi.
Kwanza leo nimeamka mapema.
Why is waking up very early a problem for so many people?
I'm not an early person. I rather stay late.
Oh. Well,
but sometimes inabidi kwa situation kama hizi.
Well, yeah. Kuna mtu aliniambia sometimes unakaanga mahali shida zako ndio zitakuambia ile time utaamka. But let's talk about you. For a person who does not know who Shania Bito is, maybe let them know.
Hi, beautiful people. I am Shania Bito. I am a singer, songwriter, recording and performing artist, actually. Yes.
Recording and performing artist.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
Since my first release, ilikuwa 2020. Yes.
And first of all, unajua, what drew you to music? You know, sometimes unakaanga hivi unasikia watu wamesema, hey, I started singing when in Sunday school. I started singing sijui nikiwa primary school. Take us through when you started, when you recognized that you had a talent for songwriting and singing.
For singing, when watu wengi wanasema,
yes,
I started singing kwa church when I was young. But sasa kuandika, I knew that I can write back in 2011, 2012. Yes.
How is that? Because writing a song and singing are two different things. Because we've had artists who do not have that singing talent, but when it comes to writing, it's something else. They write a very good song. How do you reconcile the two? Is it something that you just found yourself doing perfectly, or you've had to go under mentorship, apprenticeship? How's that journey?
Honestly, for me, ilikuja tu. Like back in 2011, I think I was inspired. I don't think I know I was inspired by grief. I was grieving my mom back then. So I found solace in writing. So ile time una feel vitu, you communicate in writing.
Yeah.
So that is when I knew that I can write. Also, for the artists when you're wamenitangulia, I used to like admire how they write. So nilikuwa nataka like, how can I write kama wao? So nikajipata na practice more. Then I became better and better. Yes.
Nani alikuinspire? You know, lazima mkuwe na mtu you are looking up to in terms of songwriting and even probably singing. Would you say your idol? Is this a musician, a local musician, or one at the international level? Ni nani unaangalianga hivi unasema one day nitakuwa kama yeye?
Honestly, I will want to be the better version of me, not like anybody. But inaenda ikichange. Like when I was young, mtu mwingine alikuwa anani-inspire sana. I started with Racy.
Oh, Racy, yes.
Racy ndo ilini expose to her kind of music. Najua nilikuwa mdogo, nilikuwa around 7 years or 10.
Yeah.
7 to 10 hapo. Then nikakuja nikajua Vanessa Mdee, then she inspired me a lot.
Vanessa Mdee, yeah.
Then nikakuja nikajua Dasana Ipeitande because my sisters were listening to her. Then Nadia Mukami, yani kila stage imekuwa tuna different people. Currently na admire how Watendawili writes.
Watendawili, yes.
Akina Sauti Sol.
Yeah.
So kila stage iko different. I feel like kila msanii ambaye nimesikiza inspire in one way or another.
Unajua sometimes watu wanasemanga music is universal. But unajua sasa ukiandika ngoma, sometimes it comes from a very personal place. Ukitengeneza ngoma zako, are you trying to tell your personal story ama unataka ku tell stories za watu through your ngoma, through your music?
Ina depend a song, honestly. There are songs zenye nimeandika that ilibidi I get into the character of the person that I'm writing about. Like, let's say I'm writing about different occasions. Let's say love, maybe siko in love that time. Itabidi nijieke kwa situation ya nikiwa in love na feel aje. Ndo ni come up with the words that really are good for that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unajua, before the age of the internet and streaming and being viral, there's a time when muziki ilikuwa like one of the oldest ways to communicate.
Yeah, true.
And storytelling. Do you think that wanamuziki siku hizi have become storytellers ama imekuwa tu ni story ya entertainment?
Both. Ni both kwa sababu hata kama ni entertainment, I'm sure there's somebody out there with feeling what you're writing. Hata kama you are writing about stuff that they are not like, sio kila mse anaweza andika in terms of for the genge, like they write nasty stuff and all that. Kuna wase wana hizo vitu ziko, tuna feel hivyo sometimes, you get, people feel that. So I feel like ni entertainment, ni both entertainment and also expressing what we feel that the older generation was not able to, or they were not like free like us to express.
Now, from a personal perspective, ushaiandika nyimbo, ukaitoa, and you felt like watu wali misunderstand message, though it came from probably some personal deep truth that you are writing about. Have you ever had that?
Not really, sijai feel evil because I feel like I give it my all at every song. So, na pia siwezi satisfy kila feeling ya kila mse. Kila mse akona, like venye mi na feel about a song, si venye una feel about a song, a certain song. So, uki aim ku satisfy kila mtu auta nini, utakuwa frustrated.
Venye unasema ni kweli juu, the interpretation of the message is different. Venye unaweza interpret step aside, sivyo
uta-interpret wewe.
Speaking of step aside, tell us about that.
Step aside is all about a woman who knows where she is at and what she wants, and are you willing to entertain inaitwaje inconsistency. Are you willing to entertain men that are not willing to provide? To provide? Yeah.
Sometimes provision, men are supposed to provide.
Are you willing to entertain fake promises without action?
Do you think there is authenticity these days, especially when it comes to relationships?
I think there is, because why a relationship then working? Some relationships are working.
But sasa unaingia kwa social media, unasikia sijui relationships are scam, marriage is a scam. We are living in the age of social media. Are we normalizing some things that are just there because of popularity? What do you think?
I honestly feel like hizo vitu zinaweza kuwa ukweli na ziliwapenia, but also there are good relationship out there, ni ile tu aziongelelewi as much as the negative. Unajua the negative spreads faster than the positive. You get. So mtu akigo through something, haizi kumbuka like the good times ali have, na things just didn't work out. So unapata analeta the negative to the internet. But pia zina exist. Sitaki kuudini.
We cannot downplay it. Speaking of social media, you know, social media and marketing music, siku hizi ni kitu you have to be present. How do you say it has impacted the way you distribute your music? How has it impacted how you do marketing for your work?
It's like, I feel like right now it's easier in terms of like I can just distribute my songs myself. Si kama zamani lazima you be in a label ndio distribute your songs. Like imetupea knowledge in a way that there are so many things that you can do by yourself as long as you're willing to learn. I feel like that's the biggest impact.
You know, in the age of branding, because social media, you have to brand yourself. Do you think wanamuziki siku hizi are becoming more content creators than storytellers?
Yeah, they are. Not like pia naweza understand kwa sababu it's needed. Unanielewa? Like you cannot just release a song and expect like utaileta, let's say kwa media stations why promote kama yenyewe ijasikika pia uko nje. Understand? Lazima pia ufanye kila kitu, upeleke kwa media, ufanye content, uende kwa shoots za like content, video shoots, photo shoots, like to make sure that your song may reach more people. As much as tunaweza kubali ama kukataa, TV sio wengi wanaangalia, but pia online sio wengi wako, especially the older generation. Understand? So una find a way ya kuingia kwa wote. Wale wenye wanaangalia TV, wenye wako online pia.
But then again, kama mwanamuziki, how do you define your target audience? Because lazima sometimes unasikia muziki, it's like targeting a certain age group. Wewe kama mwanamuziki, how do you define your target audience?
Ina depend na song first. Ni song gani natoa? Is this song for the younger generation or for the older generation? You get? Song kama ya love ina cater for all generations. Let's say pure love, normal love, but song kama Step Aside iko more of the younger generation. Non-get the generation that is not willing to put up with empty promises.
Why the younger generation? Why? Unajua kuna mtu nilisikia akijiintroduce na whatever alijiintroduce akasema na mimi ni Gen Z. Ni lazima useme wewe ni Gen Z.
No, like Gen Z inajulikana tu.
But then again, putting that aspect of mimi ni Gen Z. Kwani si hata sisi kuna wale a little bit